Hello, my name is Carlo Bergamini, Dynamics 365 Business Central and Dynamics Nav Project Manager and Senior Consultant here at Western Computer. So let's talk about closing the year in Business Central. So it is a two-step process, but both steps are easy to do. It's just a matter of knowing where to go and which steps to take. So step one is closing the accounting period. So I am going to search for accounting periods. There I have it right there. And you'll see in 2018, all of the periods have been closed, as you see by these check marks. And as I attempt to close 2019, the closed are unchecked. So before I could close my income statement, which offsets all of your P&L accounts and rolls it up into your retained earnings, I need to close the period. So I'm going to go to Process, Close Year. It's going to ask you, do you want to close the year? I say, yes, I do. And now you will see all of the related check boxes that are marked as closed and it's locked. That's step one. Step two is actually closing the income statement. So I'm going to look for close income statement. This is a process, as I mentioned, that by running this process, it will load the journal with all the closing entries to your P&L accounts. So here it knows that we just closed 2019, so it's auto defaults. You could choose which template you want to put the journal entries in, and of course you want to do the general journal template. You could specify the specific batch. If I wanted to change the batches, I could specify whichever batch. We'll just leave it as default. It does need a document number. It doesn't autofill, so you need to tell it which document number you use. As a general rule, I tend to use YE for year end and then the date. But that could be up to you what you want to use. That way I could, by document number, i.e. journal entry number, I could easily filter on that if I needed to. Then you're going to specify which retained earnings you want. Is it retained earnings? Is it another account? But either way, you're going to choose which account you want the balance to roll up into your balance sheet, into your equity accounts. And of course, you have whether you want to post it in summary or detail. And of course, you want to update the closed income statement. You could just use closed income statement, or you could add another description more for when you go surf through the ledger entries, it's more defined. If you want to close it by dimensions and you're running dimensions and you want to close this by dimensions, you could also close the P&L impact that you have for 2019 by dimensions as well. So you could do one or both or however dimensions you have. So I'm going to say, yes, I do want to close it by dimensions, which basically what it does is it takes the net balance per dimension and does the offset. So I'm going to click OK. It says journals has been successful. And what did it do? As I mentioned, I'm going to go to my journal, default batch. And lo and behold, it created my offset. Obviously, there's now not much activity here for my demo data, but you get the point. What it basically did is it auto-created these journal entries, these lines, if you will. And what it did is it offset, it created the balances to offset what was in there. So when I post this, it's actually going to go ahead and create an entry that's going to offset the total balances. Now here's what it means by more of the detail. If you wish, you see here's the balance account number. This is where I chose my retained earnings. So by using the balance account number, basically what it's going to do, it's going to post an individual line basically broken out into the balance account, into your retained earnings. So I could have chose to either had one lump sum line and the total together will go into my retained earnings account, or in detail, if you will, where now each individual amount will go into your retained earnings. So let's take a look at what I mean by that. So I'm going to go and delete these entries. Let's select more. Delete the entries. Yes, I do. I'm going to go back and rerun my close, because even though I ran it, because I didn't post the journal, it didn't do anything. So I'm able to rerun it again. This time I'm going to do it by balance instead of detail. Go let it run again. Oops, of course. Forgot to enter my document number. YE 2019. Change that to make sure I get the balance. Click OK. Now I'm going to go check this again and see what the difference is of how it appears in the journal and as you post it. Now here you'll see you get the same lines, but you notice now there's added a line on the bottom of my retained earnings amount, which gives me the total net impact. In other words, I'm going to roll up 77,000 into my retained earnings, where my first option, the detail option, it would have posted 12,000, 12,000, 376, 4,000, 483 individually into the retained earnings account if you wanted that detail posting. So it's a preference of how you want it to appear. Do you want it to appear in individual amounts, detail amounts, or do you want one lump sum amount? Then the last step would be just to post. That's what it takes to close the year in Business Central. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay up to date on all things Microsoft Dynamics. Feel free to contact us at www.westerncomputer.com if you have any questions. Thanks again.